Houston, we want you to put your hands together like this, y'all. Come on. Ah. 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 Like that, y'all. Put your hands together.
To earth, penetrate our planet and we gave us birth. A lot of strange creatures inherit the land, but only one image became man. Stop what you're doing and follow me. I'm gonna take you to the dark deep blue sea. If he hollers, let him be. Hey little mama, it's just you and me. Keep that funk alive. Keep that funk alive. Keep that funk alive. Funk alive. Keep that funk alive. Keep that funk alive. Keep that funk alive. Keep that funk alive. Nothing but seeds and then grow. So be careful how you sow. Like stardust illuminating the sky. Once so beautiful, then we die. Oh, so delicate, so fragile to touch. In a minute, we're all gonna turn right back. Everybody, keep that funk alive.
Sing.
Keep that funk alive.
Loud as you can. Keep that funk alive. Keep that funk alive. Keep that funk alive.
Here we go.
Keep that funk alive. Sing it out. Keep that funk alive. Keep that funk alive. Put 'em up. Keep that funk alive. Keep that funk alive. Keep that funk alive. Keep that funk alive, Baba.
We are on the road. We're at the beautiful Heights Theater in Houston's Heights, and we have a very special guest for this episode, Lettuce. We have members of Lettuce with us today. We have Eric and Shmeens.
There you go.
Vinyl voices. Let's do this.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank y'all for being here.
Yeah, good to be here. Always great being in Houston.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah.
when was the last time you guys rolled through? Do you have any idea? Because y'all
No.
play so much.
Zero idea. But, you know, it's always great to come here. And, you know, Texas is just one of the greatest states, one of the biggest states.
That's true.
Yes, everything is big here.
Right.
Everything is bigger.
Yeah, including the rolling through it. I mean, it's a long haul for you guys. But
Yeah, yeah.
and that's why we appreciate, that you made time for us today to talk about Unify, among other Lettuce albums that go back 30 years and a bunch of new singles that we've been digging. So
Cool, man.
yeah, thanks again for stopping by.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great to be here.
Well, I started kind of mentioning songwriting because I think with funk bands, especially, this is just an outsider's perspective. I think we really tend to focus on the skills of the players. You know, you guys are obviously, every Lettuce fan would, agree that you guys are badasses at what you do when you're on the stage. But I don't know that we really get to talk about the songwriting part of that very much with a band like you guys. So,
Cool.
yeah, tell us a little
We
bit.
should talk about how we wrote Keep That Funk Alive.
To me, one of the things, my favorite things about this guy right here is that on every instrument that I've ever heard him pick up and play with another human being, the musical decision that is made in order to complement what the other person is doing and to make both people sound better together, and that's why I enjoy playing with this band.
I think everyone in the band does that, and we're all really excited to make each other happy with the sounds that are coming off my instrument. You want to make me happy with the sounds coming off your instrument, and literally all of us do that. So it's just non-ego. It's trying to get your ego out of the way so you can really focus on what's going to make the whole of the group sound better rather than just make me look cool or something.
Right.
All right. That space is what you're talking about, giving each other space to really kind of.
Space is the place.
Yeah. And I think our writing generally reflects that mentality, right? That
Yeah. How did you guys do that? How did that work?
That was a pandemic song where we were not together, we were not touring, we were all at the house, and as we were saying before, Mr. Prolific himself, Mr. Deitch, Adam Deitch,
He come up with the bass line. Who came up with bam, bam?
that's Mr. Deitch.
Oh,
He came up with the A section, rhythmically, bass and keys and drums. He sent it around. I put guitars on it. He left a blank space
for the bridge.
Where I played guitar and bass on the bridge.
Dump, 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 down.
Dum, 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 da-da-da-da-da-da. Yep. Zoid it.
So he made that.
And Bloom recorded horns. We all did this separately.
Wow.
Right? And then
I put 2 or 3 bass tracks. I put 2 different bass tracks because it was like the idea that Bootsy was going to get on it hadn't happened yet. It was just a dream. So I played 2 bass lines, one for like me and one for Bootsy, and they both ended up on there. So now there's 2 bass lines of mine and Bootsy's 2 or 3 bass lines. So there's quite a bit of bass on that record.
Yep. And then, as he was saying, the dream was like, oh man, imagine we could get Bootsy Collins on this track.
Yeah. Right.
And we sent it to him, and he blessed us.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bootsy.
So nice.
And
so sweet. Legendary.
and so eventually we end up going back into the studio and putting the final touches and mixes on there, and maybe re-recording the drums in the studio, I think.
Yeah, we did that day.
Yeah.
Had a really good drum sound with Russ.
Yeah. No.
Jesse.
With Jesse O'Brien.
Russ helped us find Jesse O'Brien because he was looking for the Neve, but that's a long story.
That's a different story for a different day.
True.
However, big shout out to Bootsy. Bootsy got on this, one of our dream collaborators. For those of you who are not familiar with Bootsy Collins, he's one of the most important figures in funk and
history
and music and history and for multiple generations that span and spawn from James Brown and Bootsy's Rubber Band, and then production through the 90s, being sampled, Parliament Funkadelic.
That's right. His voice is very iconic. I mean,
Dr. Dre.
Snoop Dogg.
Yep, there it is.
Emulates Bootsy a lot of this Man, he's just very influenced everyone you've ever heard of.
Sample.
Bootsy Collins.
And then all the way to today for being on also like the character speaking on the Silk Sonic records as well. So, you know, he's like 50 years strong,
Right.
you know, being part of like the part of being front and center in the soul funk movement. And
after finally getting to hang with him and realizing how kind and giving and generous he is, you're like, no wonder you've had a 50, 60-year career, because he's super kind, super giving. Can't wait to jump on the track, just blessing everyone he sees. So,
yeah.
And must be why he's so
excited and contagious.
Yeah, so stoked on bringing the funk to the next generation.
Yeah.
Really interested in
I was
it.
going to say, you guys are so good at this, but maybe it's just that improv that y'all do just musically, but you keep coming back to these things like Lettuce is for the kids, y'all. Like they're like really trying to give you some history if you don't know who Bootsy Collins is. Anyone that's watched this far usually probably knows who Bootsy is because, you know.
Yeah, but maybe you don't. Maybe
But
you're
right.
going to go check out,
Exactly.
you know,
These young
some of the
artists that don't-
discography.
Make some noise, y'all.
think over the years, Lettuce has been sort of this bridge from like the old school funk, especially stuff that I grew up with, to, really enveloping more of today's sounds with hip hop and, jazz, a bunch of different things that you guys do. So I'm interested in where you see funk headed from here. What's kind of the next thing, since you guys were, like a big bridge to sort of bring funk into this new era. What's the next thing? Have you guys seen it out there? Are you part of it?
I mean, I think we're part of it in the sense of like going back in time and paying attention to prioritizing what's important. And just because we've gotten it a little bit right, I feel like there's people that can get it even more right. I honestly feel like it's still, the future is digging in further and getting that discipline on those parts and like really getting it all the way right, just simplicity. And I don't know, that's what I think. But what do you think, Shmi?
I think the future is the children, the younger people out there. We at one point were the kids who were, dying to listen to this Tower of Power song, or discovering where the samples came from in the hip hop generation. And I feel like that's kind of what you hear from us in that, which is that, we did grow up in the golden era of hip hop, right? What it's referred to now.
Yeah.
And there was no internet back then. And we were, searching the crates and the record stores and trying to find like, oh my God, that's where this came from. It wasn't like you could just go on to YouTube and type it in and have someone tell you exactly what it is. You actually had to go discover or talk to your friend about it who did their discovery and kind of like meld your knowledge together. And so, I feel like now the future are these young, incredible musicians who are coming up and have the entirety of every resource at their fingertips, every piece of musical knowledge and, discipline. And you see some of the most talented young people you've ever seen in your life before today. Yeah. And this is without music being in most schools now. And, these, it's just when you decide that this is what you love, and I am just going to dive as deep as they possibly can.
Right.
You're just watching some really incredible stuff happen, and they're the future to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take your time, kids.
It's yours. It ain't going to be ours for much longer. I'll tell you that.
And they said, what was the guy who told us, like, George Benson said he practiced the instrument. You're like, why do you practice? He said, I practice because I like the sounds. I like the sounds that it makes when I play it. Like, I love hearing it, so I just keep practicing. It's kind of like digging deep, like he said, digging all the way deep, because it's a vast well, music is, and it will never let you down.
Jesus, Deitch, Zoidus, and myself, we've known each other since we've been 16 years old. And meeting Adam, who he was saying is like one of the most prolific writers, and he's been this since the day that I've met him, right?
Constantly writing.
Yeah.
A couple songs a day.
And just his influence on me as far as like production and how to approach some of the technology that was coming out at that time, changed who I am as a writer, as a musician. And, I kind of feel like just his enthusiasm and love for music is so contagious to be around. And, and it just makes us, better. It makes anyone around him like kind of a better musician in a way. And then like you meet his family and you kind of understand it, and you meet his mom and his dad and be like, oh yeah, it's like, and you too, man, your dad and I didn't necessarily grow up with my direct parents being professional musicians as opposed to these guys.
Right.
But like my dad is probably most likely writing a song right now, working on like the fourth verse and fixing a couple of words.
Yeah.
Most likely right now. He was doing it yesterday. He's always got, he's just writing songs at his age, 77. He just can't stop. And it's like, it's something interesting. Honestly, when I'm walking around, I'll just be walking around blank-headed, nothing up here whatsoever. Not really. And then it'll just blast like a radio turned on inside my head, and I hear a whole song with all the orchestration. That's brand new composition. I'm thinking, and sometimes it'll happen where I don't notice I'm singing this song. I'm like, what am I singing? I'm like, oh, this is all original. Like I'm making this all up, or it's coming through somehow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't take credit for it. It feels like you're like tuning in to the outer space frequencies.
Those kids that you're talking about just getting out and playing, they do have all those resources. It's not like, they had to go to the music school to get it accomplished. And so to hear you guys kind of just mention that is a really good resource and promising for the future of not just funk, but all music.
All music, man.
Yeah. The future of humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because music is tied to that.
Yeah, it is. Like music is when we express our emotions, and the part of it I don't really understand is that somehow emotions and feelings get attached to it. That the way music can bring up emotions and feelings and memories is just like remarkable to me. I'm not sure how those feelings get attached to the frequencies or how they do that or how it works, but I think it's really important that humans make music, I feel like it's important to learn a craft, and maybe even to say that just because something's simple doesn't mean it's not effective and it's not affecting people around you. Like your simple smile or your simple being kind to someone, it might be going a lot further than you think.
Yeah. Keep it simple. That's kind of the theme of this show, it sounds like. So.
Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2, come on!
Sounds like a part of me. Sound like a part of me. Sound like a part of me.
I got a quarter and a dollar, and I got something that will make it out the parlor. I got some wine, you got some whiskey, but don't waste my time. Let's get down. Get the records on the shelf, help yourself. Get down, do what you do, what you gotta do. Alright, you got some place to be, what you do with me. About that music,
Sound like a part of me. Go Houston.
about that good God.
Sound like a part of me.
Mark Simmons, what you think about that, y'all?
Sound like a part of me.
Whoa, whoa, that's a weed, that's a flavor, and if you need,
She's got some dance with her ass.
I'm gonna get down, party, hardy, hardy. I know all you wanna do is get this party started. Boy, you better slap that bass. I know the ladies forget the words.
Do what you wanna do.
Oh, it's not likely you got some place to be. Somebody. part of me. Sounds like a part of me. Sounds like a part of me.
I want them to leave with feeling uplifted by our music. And expect the unexpected. Don't try and put us into a box. We are pretty much multi-genre at this point,
Right.
but everything that we do is funky, percussive, rhythmic, influenced by Black American music, BAM, influenced by a lot of different music out there. And, you know, we're just trying to play things that make each of us in the band excited.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to play something that makes him excited. There it is.
Likewise. And I think you can expect, if you've never been to a Lettuce show, that you'll get there and you might want to stand there and be still, but your body won't let you. So you're just going to be moving a lot. It's like, I can't stay still, and most of you won't be able to stay still. And it should just be a continual stoke where the music is stoking you out, and then your dancing is stoking us out, and we're just all having a beautiful energy exchange. It's going to be funky. It's going to be a dance party, and you should, like you said, leave feeling uplifted, feeling a sense of joy and community. You know?
Yeah. And I feel like every time that you're with us, we're going to explore together, right?
Yeah.
That if you're open to exploring, it makes us feel even more open to exploring, and we're going to go on an beautiful adventure together through the cosmos and through music.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us, Final Voices. This is awesome.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you guys very much. We're going to let you go so you can get ready for your show, take a little downtime, hopefully, before sound check and everything.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
All right.
But again, just wrapping things up here for Vinyl Voices. We've had Lettuce on tonight, Eric, Adam, Jesus, Schmeens, Coombs, Smirnoff, however you want to put them. These guys are very cool, and we appreciate the time, y'all. Thanks a lot.
Peace on earth.